Hello everyone and welcome to KCG Round 6, the Chinese T-Prix, where we already see a bunch of GT3s and TCRs driving in the practice session right now. My name is Julian Strasser, and with me here today is Song KP. How are you doing, Song?
Yes, I am doing good. Hello.
Alright. Are you looking forward to seeing these cars racing on the track, the GT3s and the TCRs?
Well, I'm just hoping they don't do a continental circus moment and crash into each other, but yeah, I hope there's some good racing. Obviously.
Alright. Well, in that case, let us take a look at... First of all, we have a track lap, which is going to be played in a couple of seconds, which showcases the circuit on which we are racing today.
And here we are for a lap around Shanghai International Circuit in a Lincoln Co-03 WTCR. We're going to start the lap here, just below this massive complex of bridges and grandstands. We're going to approach turn 1, brake at the 50 meters board, keep it into 5th gear, trail brake into the corner, stay tight at the crane, brake a little bit more, downshift into 2nd, stay tight again, do not go wide here on exit, stay tight on exit as well, because otherwise you're not going to hit the 2nd apex, which you want to do. Now for this next corner, you're going to start braking at the beginning of the curve on the left, right here. Hit the apex here, you can cut with 2 wheels on the grass if you want to, it's not really a big deal. Now for these 2 sweepers, you stay into 4th gear, you stay tight, you stay very tight. Especially on exit, you stay very tight. Like so. Here as well, stay tight, don't shift into 3rd if you want. You can keep into 4th. Brake when there is the access road on the right, because you want to miss the 1st apex in order to hit the 2nd. You are going to full throttle here. That is nice. Now here, brake at the beginning on the curve on the right. Like so. Cut with 2 wheels here on the inside curve. And now try and go as tight as possible here. And try and keep it flat. It's going to be difficult, but you can do it. And now we're on the back straight of the track, which is by far the longest straight, probably in the entire KCG championship. As we're now going to approach the second to last corner, brake at the 150 meters board. Down into 2nd gear, do not put 1st, just 2nd. You can clip the curb there on the outside. Now last corner, brake at the 50 meters board. Make sure to not cut here and not go wide on the outside, otherwise you will get your laps invalidated, which may or may have not happened once or twice or thrice for the start guide. And there we go, that is a 2:14.632, and that's the track guide around Shanghai International Circuit.
Yeah, I know, I put that on. And we are back, everyone. That was the beautiful lap, the track lap by our own Sebastiano Rossi, who's racing here today. We are, as said, at Shanghai, and as shown, it's the Grand Prix layout, so the long one, 5.4 kilometers to race on, and we will be looking right now onto the championship standings. So, first of all, let's start with the GT3 class. We have Cody Nikola Latkovsky with 100 points in the lead currently in the GT3 class, followed by Lucas Fischer on 92, Jiří Kratochwil on 84. Then we have a bit of a drop-off to František Štofko in 51 and Rüdiger Lampe on 47. And after that, we have a couple more entries who are participating on a race-per-race basis and not necessarily for the entire championship. We have Thorsten Leber on 25, Merian Köch on 22, Julian Metzner on 20, Merian Sazzara on 19, Dave Zitzke on 16, Timo Reiter on 16, and Andreas Ebert on 10.
And as we go on to the TCR standing, there's exactly 10 drivers in here. In P1 is Sebastiano Rossi with 115 points. And then a little bit far back is Joe Senna at 83 points. Close behind though is Sven Mackenberg at 72 points. And in P4 we have Colin Barker at 56 points. In P5, Wilfredo Sevilla at 31 points. And Saulius Larinavicius at 27 points. And then Julian Messner appears here as well at 26 points, 1 point behind. And then we have Zoe Akihara and Vasilis Katerinakis in the Lincoln Co today, the Chinese car in the Chinese T-Prix today. And then Boki Obradovic rounds off the TCR standings at 9 points.
Yeah, exactly. We have quite a lot of people. Not all of them are here today. We see Vasilis Katerinakis finishing the lap right now. And Timo Reiter right now continuing the lap. Crucially today, it seems like, at least so far in the server, Cody Nikola Latkovsky is not here. So the championship leader is not here today. So this will give the option for someone else to take the W home today. Maybe Lucas Fischer, who is currently in the lead of the qualifying session with a 2:03.337, followed by Rüdiger Lampe and Dave Zitzka, all of whom are the GT3s that have valid laps. In the TCR class right now with Joe Senna leading the way ahead of Sven Mackenberg, who is doing double duty today. Earlier was in the DTM Esports. And then we have Vasilis Katerinakis, of course, already set a lap time. And we're on board with Rüdiger Lampe right now. Already in the last sector of Shanghai. As we saw earlier, this is the last corner coming onto the start-finish straight. Let's see if Rüdiger Lampe can improve on his time and get closer to the lead. And improves by 2/10.
That last corner, you really gotta commit though. Even in F1, you can't really do it full throttle. So like, yes, full commitment corner. Try use as much of the track as possible. As we see Dave Zitzke finishing their lap here, improving to get P3 in the GT3s.
Oh, very close now to Timo Reiter between Dave Zitzke and them. So as we see Joe Senna, who might be improving here on the lap time. Let's take a look. Will this be another hammer down for the TCR class? 11.2 seconds down, improved by 3/10. Wow. But Sebastiano Rossi, currently championship leader, still has to run a lap. And as we speak of the devil, here we have him.
On the long back straight right now, heading into the final sector. A little bit of a lockup here. As smokes come out the tires. Up to see if that affects their lap. He rounds up the penultimate corner into the high commitment final corner here. Let's see what the lap for the Italian Jojo will be. As, yeah, we'll see what the lap is.
Might be... P2, here we go. Just a 10th, not even a 10th down on the lead right
that's
now.
like 500s, yeah, 500s.
It's getting very close between the two. Of course, Sebastiano Rossi has a higher success ballast today. Going into the race with higher success ballast. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays into account during the race.
See Dave Zitzke here doing another lap. +1 under. Is that the best time or the P1 time? I don't know.
That is compared to the P1, the lead time. So currently Dave Zitzke is up on their personal best. Still on schedule to improve. Oh, very wide there.
That's why there. That might be invalid.
I think they will invalidate the lap as we switch over to Joe Senna. Fanatec Stofko has set a lap in the meantime, getting very close to Rüdiger Lampe, Dave Zitzka, and Timo Reiter. Looking to be a rather big battle for the midfield in GT3 there.
This is the Joe Senna just rounding out another lap right here. Could be an improvement. We don't know yet. Oh, that's very invalid. That's very wide there.
Was unfortunate there, as we're now on with Timo Reiter, who needs to improve in order to not, well, seem to start last. Of course, there's one more person that is doing a one-off entry today. Jordan Brunch is driving in. Is that the Mercedes that I think it is?
Yes, that's a good smile Mercedes, the one with Miku on it. Oh my god.
Of course. Well, let's see if he sets a time now. It doesn't seem to be a competitive time right now, just getting used to the track, getting used to the car is new with the combination, new to the championship.
It's gonna be his final lap, next lap though. This 1 minute 48 left in qualifying, so...
Right, this was his qualifying lap then, because as we know, RaceRoom stops the qualifying on the dot.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, Jordan might have to make a recovery drive today if he wants to... we see Reiter passing Ziska here.
Look at how close
P6.
Stofko and Reiter are right now. Let's see if Stofko can improve here on the last qualifying lap. Was up on their time in the second sector.
Just 200 separating him right now. Stofko needs to improve. He doesn't want to get caught out. Let's see.
It does not improve in the end.
Aw.
So now we're looking at Mike Koch. One of the very few African drivers we have ever had. And... which section are we currently at? Is this the... coming up into the large back straight, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Oh, he might not make the cut here. He's at 1:29, but there's 28 seconds left in qualifying. He might not make it, but he is currently P3, so that might mean he's safe if Lampe doesn't finish.
It looks like the it's not going to be an improvement on the lap time here, or the lap has been invalidated. But Lucas Fischer seems to have the podium position, starting in the first position in front of Jiří Kratochwil. Yeah, and Mike Koch just came across the line just barely behind on time, starting in P3. Rüdiger Lampe starting in P4, Fanatec Stofko in P5, Timo Reiter in 6, Dave Zitzka in 7, and Jordan Brunch in P8 for the GT3 class. And in the TCR class, it was Joe Senna starting ahead of Sebastiano Rossi, Sven Maggenberg, Colin Barker, and Vasilis Katerinakis.
Joe Senna might try to get some crucial points off Sebastiano Rossi today, because there's a bit of a gap between them, a 30-point gap. So Joe is going to want to narrow that much as he can.
I mean, today is also a very good opportunity for that. Joe Senna with only 7 kilograms of ballast, Sebastiano Rossi with 19 kilograms of ballast. Quite a lot of difference here as we see the smoke screen being deployed once again by the TCRs as a common phenomenon as we've seen in the last few races.
Yeah, they don't have ABS today, so...
Today they don't have it, usually they do.
The GT3s look like they might be ready for a shake-up as well, because Lucas Fischer just 8 points behind Cody Nikola Lakowski right now, and as we know, Lakowski's not in the race. Is there a drop round for KCG?
That is a good question, one that definitely someone else can answer. Actually, I'm gonna look that up right now.
But yeah, as it stands, Lucas Fischer, if he just gets 9 points this race, he can overtake Lakowski for P1 in the GT3 standings. Which just makes it all the more exciting, as the two championship leaders just meeting each other in the back straight right now. Just saying hello, all that kind of stuff. Yep, just passing the TCR.
Doing the lapping practice in. Very easy situation here, just catching him on the straight. Catching in the first sector will be a touch more difficult to overtake.
Yeah, because you see this a snail cone shaped corner, and that's not really practical for overtaking.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the first corner of Sepang, right?
Yeah,
Sort of.
sort of. Anyway, have you found out if KCG has a drop round?
It doesn't seem like it has. So this might actually be a good chance for Lucas Fischer now to get in the lead for the championship battle.
The GT3 championship, yes, as I said before, only needs 9 points and he'll be ahead.
Oh!
So as we see some drifting action here from the Chinese car, the Chinese T-Prix. That's a fun fact today.
Yeah, exactly. This is the first time there's a Chinese T-Prix running at tracc.eu, and it's the first time that a Chinese car is entering said event.
Chinese T-Prix, yeah. Anyway, formation lap now it seems.
Exactly. We are coming up to the formation. The drivers will do their last adjustments for their setups. Just waiting for the last few cars to get on the grid as we then do the standing starts, of course, as we have done it in the past.
Yep. We love starting starts over here. Standing starts, sorry.
We do. And
Yeah.
in the meantime, if you want to race yourself or if you want to join us and talk about racing this championship or other sim racing championships, you can join tracc.eu Discord server via the link that is currently on screen. But as we're getting ready now, let us take a look at the lead. Lucas Fischer. Oh boy, that's not the best camera angle.
Can't see anything. Oh, someone get a drive-through penalty?
As we have the start, it seems that someone is having a drive-through penalty, perhaps, as Lucas Fischer is already getting attacked by GT3 GT3 better start. It's now in front into the first corner. Mike Kirk is right behind them, and it looks like there is quite the battle on our hands already between the lead cars. Already the upset has been started by GT3, of course, only qualified in P2. And Jordan Brunch is down in the middle of the TCRs right now. But in front we have Mike Kirk on the rear of Lucas Fischer trying to make headway. We have Sebastiano Rossi here in the back trying to make headway on the GT3 of Jordan Brunch. Timo Reiter as well looking on at a possibility of going for the overtake. All the while, Joe Senna seems to be able to drive away in the TCRs thanks to the GT3 that is in the midst there. What a start so far.
What's happened to Jordan? I think he missed the start or something.
That might be the case. Might have missed the start. Is now a bit behind the rest of the grid as we see. Oh, how close do you want it? Joe Senna's already getting very challenged here by Sebastiano Rossi. Going for the inside, but the next inside is for Joe Senna, so easily defended. We're coming up to the long straight now, and it looks like this is the closest battle on the track between Joe Senna, Sebastiano Rossi and Sven Mackenberg. Now it's just a question, how will the slipstream affect this? Obviously, this is a very long straight here.
Yeah, Sebastiano Rossi might be able to make a move if he desires. We have Senna going defensive though, but it's not enough to prevent Rossi from going up the inside. He has... Oh, Joe Senna locks up. goes wide, gives up the position to Sven Mackenberg as well.
Oh,
That wasn't a good corner for Senna right there.
Senna only down in P4 now in the class, lost a couple of positions. As we see, Vasilis Katarinakis got a drive-through penalty and is now serving that. Back in front, we have Dave Sitska close on the rear of František Štofko. Both of these Czech drivers taking a bit of a different line through the first corner section here. And it seems like Dave Sitska lost quite a lot of ground going a bit wide here. So Jiří Kratochvíl is still in the lead after the start.
Yeah, looks like a bit of shake-up here, but Lucas Fischer just needs to score 9 points. That's it, and he gets the lead of the championship. So maybe he wants to take it easy by just not fighting in the beginning and not losing too much time or crashing. Maybe that's the strategy.
I mean, there's also the aspect of it of trying to not get the most success ballast possible. Finishing in P2 gives you less success ballast for the next race. So that would also be sort of a strategy. But then again, it's also 5 points that you're just letting slide there. Well, 10 if you see it between Kratochvíl and Fischer, who both are rather close to the championship battle.
Yeah, so they both have to think very carefully as Sven Markenberg looking to make a move on Sebastian Rossi here after Senna's little mistake into the final corner. As they round out the little long right-hander onto the long back straight. Senna looks like he's locking up again as we see Lucas Fischer trying to make a move on Kratochvíl. Doesn't seem to have happened though, as we go back to the TCRs here for a bit. Sven Mackenberg firmly in the slipstream. Sebastian Rossi going defensive, it seems. But can the Volkswagen Golf TCR GTI make a move on the outside? He's trying to do it. Still side by side. Is smoke screen deployed?
And he's on the inside for the next corner.
It looks like he has done it. Looks like he's made a stick.
But I think the line through the last corner was better for Sebastiano Rossi, so he might try to get side by side immediately there as we see it. But he's currently on the outside line for the next corner. Will he be able to move ahead enough to stay ahead of Sven Mackenberg? He's still ahead, but oh yes, just slots in front there, just barely. What a wonderful move around the outside for Sebastiano Rossi, putting Sven Mackenberg back into P2.
You know, TCRs always provide some exciting racing as Senna again having trouble with those brakes. Losing time to Barker by doing that.
That was a nice smoke screen being deployed there. As we go back to the front, where Jiří Kratochvíl just seemed to have a bit of an issue going a bit wide on the exit of a corner. This might be an invitation for Lucas Fischer to try and go for a move as soon as possible if mistakes keep happening.
Yeah, Lucas Fischer knows that Kratochvíl is making mistakes and he needs to capitalize on that as the Ferrari in front there just seems to get a better exit there, so has to stay back for the time being. As we see the BMW of Štofko right here, right behind that Audi and Mercedes. It's like a battle for what seems to be P3 right now. Pretty close again between the TCRs as well. 3 cars bunch up together. Rossi, Mackenberg, and Senna. Senna again deploying that smoke screen. What is going on? Distraction tactics being abused right here. FIA, get this man.
Get this man. As I have to switch over here because we just had an overtake. Dave Zitska just overtook František Štofko, and going back now, there's also side-by-side action between Mackenberg and Joe Senna, as both of them are trying to catch up to Sebastiano Rossi, and we're at the end of the corner. We have a yellow flag. It seems like František Štofko has lost quite a lot of positions. Going back.
Maybe there was a little bit of contact when defending against... Ooh! Bumper to bumper racing into the final corner right here.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is touring car racing. We see the TCRs bumper to bumper, as you said. Wow, into the corner. Guys, we still have 53 minutes on the clock. don't smash up your cars yet.
Yeah, that would be ideal, would it? Chill for the time being, just keep racing, but the battle between the Ferrari is still raging on, though. Pratosville seems weak in the infield section as Lucas Fischer just seems to catch up, as the Mercedes has a little slide there.
Oh, Mike Kirk there in the rear. Beautiful, catching that slide. František Štofko is looking to gain back positions after losing a bit earlier on the rear of Timo Reiter right now, trying to make up the position again.
Yeah, seems like he has a little incident in the turn 1, and he wants those positions back, obviously. So, but again, the Audi, famously known for having no top speed, so might be tough overtaking that BMW, but he tries it anyway as goes to the Ferraris. Still seem to be close together. Into the final corner, going onto the main straight now. Still seems to be nothing going on at the moment between those two. Seems like Lucas just wants to keep up for the time being. As Reiter right now pulled away from Štofko a little bit. As more TCR racing for you folks here. Senna trying a move on Sebastiano Rossi. Easy pass on the back straight, but Sebastiano might have an answer on the main straight after this. Oh, there's been contact as Sebastiano hit Mackenberg.
Senna,
sorry.
It seems like parking it on the apex. That's the danger of parking it on the apex as an overtaking strategy. And it seems like Jordan Brunch is in the pits now. But also, very close battle in the front now. Lucas Fischer again, really closing in on Jiří Kratochvíl in the technical first sector, as you said earlier. And I think at some point he's gonna want to overtake.
Yeah, it seems like the Czech driver is just that tiny little bit slower in the intersection, which is maybe beginning to frustrate Fischer because it's not easy to overtake in there. There's really only like 2 overtaking opportunities, 3. So Fischer is going to want to just accelerate harder, as they say.
But it seems like Kratochvíl has the better lap coming out of the coming onto the long back straight, which is why there is no possibility for Lucas Fischer to overtake on it. And there's a
he might be running a as we see Joe Senna doing a proper overtake on Rossi this time.
But goes wide.
Goes really wide here. He's inviting Sebastiano Rossi back as we see a yellow flag for Štofko again. What has transpired over there? Oh, off into the gravel trap.
That was in the second last corner. Yeah.
Oh,
maybe the stewards will have to take a look at that.
After that little, another smoke screen. This guy's engine is broken.
No, I think at this point it must be something in the RaceRoom engine where maybe it's like something is grinding on the tires and that is creating the smoke, something like that, like the wheel arches, you know.
But there might be some rubbing up wheel arches, though, as we see the Volkswagen again getting close to that Alfa Romeo for some good old close TCR racing again. They've been close the whole time. That's really impressive.
They're not giving each other an inch or a mile. Never whatsoever. There's a bit of a different line there from Jiří Kratochvíl than we usually see it. But I think that Lucas Fischer just needs to take a different line through this next upcoming long right-hander leading onto the longest straight on the circuit in order to try and catch Jiří Kratochvíl on the end of the straight.
Yeah, when I was trying, I had a theory that Kratochvíl might have a low downforce setup, which is allowing him to get good exits onto the straights, which does not allow Lucas Fisher to catch up. See, he's very well in the slipstream, and Lucas Fisher is not catching up one bit.
Oh, he is catching up, but it's just, I think, the overspeed that Kratochvil has on the start of the straight is just too much for Fischer to be able to get close enough to go for that move.
Coming back with more TCR action though. Sven Mackenberg and Joe Senna and Rossi still close together, but Senna might have a chance into this little straight though, as tries to make a move into this section here. Doesn't want to do it though. Maybe he knows better and not to overtake there and wait for the straight for a chance instead. Just going on the straight now, on-board view of the... Is that a Peugeot? Yes, that is a Peugeot. Getting some overspeed on the Volkswagen right now. Going to the right for the so-called DRS pass, even though there's no DRS.
And this might be the move
Making
here,
it...
the money move.
This might be the move. Has there been contact? There might have been contact.
But maybe Sven Mackenberg just going wide there and now has to concede the position after all to Joe Senna. There has been contact, of course. The stewards will look at it after the race.
Oh, these two are still not giving up though, but that gave Sebastiano an opportunity to run the... Oh! A little bit close there. But they seem to be making it through safely right now.
Yeah, that move...
Yeah, yeah.
That just looked a bit sketchy there, trying to go for such a move out of nowhere, basically. I think this is just the strategy of Sven Mackenberg to try and force Joe Senna into making a mistake.
In hitting the apex though, Senna does not, which just invites Mackenberg back into the party here, as Sebastiano Rossi still seems to be able to pull away from all of this because these two are now fighting each other.
Look at the line difference they're taking. Joe Senna very straight lining that corner. Sven Mackenberg going for a wider entry there. Oh, I think that Joe Senna is struggling with something a bit right now. These lines do not look optimal for the Peugeot driver.
Mayhaps, but it turns out Mackenberg is the one that's losing time right now, as maybe, I don't know, maybe on the corner exit there, as the smoke screen is deployed, the tactical smoke screen.
Oh boy. Those TCRs and their smoke screens. Yeah, in GT3s we don't have that. In GT3s it's pure old battling, as we see Mike Koch is now being caught by Dave Zitska. Of course, Dave Zitska only, this is I think the second round that he's participating in, and it is... He's still carrying a 6-kilogram success ballast from finishing P3 in the previous time he participated. So I think he's looking to repeat that.
He's flashing. He's flashing.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's it. Yeah, he is flashing. I wonder why.
I'm low-key surprised that the BMW has that feature, as they famously don't even have indicators fitted standard. That was a joke, ladies and gentlemen.
For legal reasons, that was a joke. As we go on the back straight now, the BMW should have some speed here. It keeps flashing, like maybe Zitska is frustrated about the Mercedes for something. As Zitska attempts a move, doesn't make it though.
Or maybe it's just the Ian Loggy strategy. Try to watch any British GT race where Ian Loggy takes part. When he's following someone, which happens quite often, he will flash almost the entire lap around. Maybe it's just the strategy of trying to get the other car to buckle under pressure.
See the Mercedes doing a little drift into the snail cone shape turn 1 section of Shanghai here. These two cars, these two German cars here, having it a little bit close right now.
Oh,
They're able to keep position.
taking every millimeter of the circuit there on exit Dave Zitska.
Oh, again, closer, hitting that apex, just parking it there. Looking like Zitska is a little bit faster in the inner technical section, as the Mercedes just cannot hit the apex here, it seems. And it's also drifting a little bit.
Oh yes. Oh
In that
yes.
slip angle as they say. As Joe Senna is battling Sebastian Rossi here, more close TCR door banging here as into the penultimate corner. Senna still ahead into the final corner. We'll see if Senna taking all that inside curve there. But Sebastian Rossi might use that opportunity to make a move. Space is not being given at all, or maybe it is, as Rossi is able to make that move, diving down the inside.
Sven Markenbach going wide behind. Oh.
And Zitska trying that move on the Mercedes. Oh, pushing him out, it seems. Trying to push him off the track, it seems. This is close racing, y'all.
Guys, you are GT3s, not TCRs. What are you doing? This is dangerous behavior. However, it led to Dave Zitska being now ahead of Mike Kirch. Let's see if Mike Kirch can catch up here. As we also see a battle for the lead now as Lucas Fischer goes on the inside. Both of them spin.
They both spin.
And Dave Zitska is here.
That invites Dave Zitska here, as both of the leaders have a little incident in the snail cone section. Oh boy, this is gonna get exciting.
And look at this side back from Jürgen Kratochwil. He sees now, oh, Lucas Fischer now has to defend from Dave Zitska. This is exactly what Jürgen Kratochwil wants. Just to be able to have these people in the back fighting and to drive away on his own. We'll have to see whether Dave Zitska is able to go for a move to attack effectively enough, or whether Lucas Fischer first catches up with Jürgen Kratochwil. Obviously, they were driving away from the rest of the grid earlier, so let's see if Dave Zitska is now reinvigorated by seeing this battle going on ahead. This very intense battle between the Ferraris.
There's a Lincoln Co right there of Katerinakis. Probably won't be factored in though, as it's gonna come into the back straight for an easy lapping.
Oh yeah, and the circuit should be wide enough for, well, 4 cars to fit side by side basically. So
they're really close together though. We're gonna see a TCR GT3 version right here. Oh, Dave Zitska going on the inside, thinking of making that move, but does not. Kratochwil still keeping that P1 position into the final corner. Looks like Mike Coach may get caught up by that TCR into the final corner, so he's going to get slowed down by that. Kratochwil still leading into turn 1. We're going to see what happens here.
Wide on the entry there. Not sure what the better line is. Kratochwil going for a late apex, whereas Lucas Fischer and Dave Zitska are more hugging the inside. Oh, so close for Luke Fischer. Lucas Fischer now.
Yeah, Lucas Fischer now just trying to, as we see Joe Senna here getting lapped by the Good Smile Racing Mercedes of Jordan Brunch.
Actually not getting lapped. Jordan Brunch is down, is currently making up these positions on track. You gotta remember, he was in the pits earlier, has rejoined the race since, and is now making up these positions.
And Jordan is now finally in front of all the TCRs. Well done.
That's a smoke screen. I think at this point I'm starting to think it's just the Peugeot doing that. As we take a look at Lucas Fischer going side by side with Jiří Kratochvíl, finally going for the move, for the overtake, the pass for P1, and it has happened finally. Dave Sitzka looking on at this spectacle going on for the lead of the race.
But remember, very long back straight, like nearly 2 kilometers. Slipstream is going to come into matter here as Lucas Fischer not giving any inch of track to Kratochvíl here, but Kratochvíl seems to have the overspeed of Slipstream. Fischer has the inside liner, but gets the switcheroo by Kratochvíl into the penultimate corner. Exciting stuff going on here. Oh, as Siska goes rather wide there. But they're again really close again for turn 1 right now as Fischer didn't look too happy about that move. Tries to dive again on the inside, hugging that curve. But Kratochvíl says, no, I'm closing that door. You will not have the position as, ooh, bumper to bumper racing.
Very close between the two, and this fighting allows Dave Sitzka to stay with them as well through this entire battling.
Yeah, Lucas Fischer. Oh, maybe looking at a move in here. Dives on the inside. Bumper again. Doesn't look like there was contact. But Lucas Fischer is indeed ahead again. David Ziska still looking to chance that Ferrari of the Czech driver, Kratochvíl. Now into the long series of corners, technical corners. Heading onto the little straight here that leads onto the back straight. They're meeting some TCRs, hopefully in the back straight, so their battle doesn't get hampered, but we'll see. Oh, Kratochvíl losing a little bit of time there.
And I think we're catching up to the lead battle for the TCRs as we see the smoke screen.
Yeah, the Peugeot smoke screen being deployed as usual. Oh, the Volkswagen, they're looking for a move. Does he make it? No, he thought about it, but didn't do it.
Oh!
Yes. Oh, Ziska! Very brave move there. Unfortunately, locks up and loses all that time he's gained towards the front runners. But since the front runners are fighting fiercely right now, he might gain that back up all really quickly.
Absolutely, that might very quickly happen as I think Jordan Brunch is back in the pits now. And there's the overtake. Well, try at least. Jordan, Jiří Kratochvíl, Lucas Fischer side by side here, and this is coming up to the battle as well for the top of the TCRs.
Ooh. And the tactical Peugeot smokescreen being deployed to distract the GT3s, but that doesn't work on Kratochvíl. As we go 3 wide into this corner. Will they make it? Yes, barely. And oh, navigating traffic right now, these 2 top GT3s. Fischer, though, seems to be getting the bad side of that stick and getting held up by Sebastiano Rossi right now. This has borrowed Kratochvíl precious time.
And look at Dave Sitzka on the inside.
Ziska has sent it, absolutely just sent it, and it's now... Fischer has the inside, though. He might get switcheroo into this corner, but seems to be able to keep it. Ooh, exciting.
And the news, Jordan Brunch has had to retire, unfortunately. As we see here, that is Joe Senna very close on the rear of Sven Mackenberg now after all of this lapping shenanigans that we've seen, the smoke screen being deployed once again. Let's see, can Joe Senna get a good run out of this corner? Now we're on the long straight, of course.
He might have it. Already going to the right to pass that Volkswagen. Looks like a DRS type pass to me. Will he try on Sebastiano too? No. He thought about it, but didn't.
Not quite
But
close
it's still
enough.
really close though. Still quite close though. Into the final corner we go here. Ooh, yeah. Sebastiano Rossi just fighting all race between Senna and Sven Markenberg here. As there is a little variable in the form of is that
I see Timo Reiter in the BMW. Yes, trying to lap this battle now.
Yeah, and the tactical smoke screen again, but that doesn't seem to distract Markenberg too much. But that BMW has caused some time loss for the Volkswagen, it seems. Ooh, as Sebastiano might have locked up there, inviting Senna into the battle again for like the 507th time this race. But yes, indeed, we still have a battle going on. Oh, not quite close enough. As we see a Mercedes up. Is that Lampe? That might be Lampe.
That is Rüdiger Lampe, exactly, trying to find a way past this battle now. But oh, look at how close Joe Senna always gets to Sebastiano Rossi. Also trying to do a bit of a fake out there, trying to get Sebastiano Rossi to catch him off guard. But that is a very hard task to achieve. We have seen that in previous rounds.
The Mercedes probably go, what the hell is going on right now? But there should be no more problem as the GT3 easily passes the TCRs on the straight.
Not taking
what
advantage.
Might not be
there.
so easy right now is the overtake. Senna going for the outside as Rossi is not giving up any room on the inside. Both go side by side into the penultimate corner. Ooh, Rossi locking up right now. Senna might be able to make the switcheroo, but will he? A little bit of fender banging, but it looks like Sebastiano is able to keep that position for now.
They're not
but we have turn one
there,
into turn one.
There's still a chance,
see what happens.
But generally Joe Senna is not as good at breaking into turn one, but still manages to sneak a nose in there. Not quite enough to go for the overtake there, though. So Sebastiano Rossi stays in front for now. But all of this battling between the two allows Sven Markenberg to slowly but surely catch up to this battle. As he's coming ever closer, he's edging closer towards the lead battle here. But we're already halfway through the race. 30 minutes.
Yes, we are halfway through.
Let's take some stock now. We currently have Jiří Kratochvil in the lead, ahead of Lucas Fischer in GT3 class, ahead of Dave Zitzka. And then we have Mike Köch, Timo Reiter and Rüdiger Lampe a bit further behind the Fanatec Stoffco as well. For the TCRs, we have the battle currently going on between Sebastiano Rossi, Joe Senna and Sven Markenberg, who is now fairly planted on the rear of the Peugeot driver. And behind them we also have Colin Bark and Vasilis Katerinakis. Vasilis unfortunately had a drive-through in the beginning and now just driving to surviving, with Jordan Brunch unfortunately having DNF'd in the pits now. But now we're on the long back straight and it looks like the Peugeot wants to go for another move, this time on the inside. Not quite.
No room being given though. No room being given though. Go see the outside. Last minute. Will this kind of move work as... Ooh, a little bit close there.
František Stoffco is now catching.
Yeah, it could be a variable in this battle as Stoffco. There's a straight here though, so it might not be as bad. Yes, going through pretty easily here. Now into turn 1, we see these 3 TCRs taking the corner gracefully as go back to the GT3s. Lucas Fischer again taking advantage of his higher downforce setup relative to Kratochvil, if I am to be correct in my theory. Just to be able to catch up to him again, try to get that P1. See, head down the little straight into the tight section before heading onto the long back straight. Yeah, it seems the secret to Kratochvil's great exit is that he just takes a wider line, gets more speed, and has a lower downforce setup. So Lucas Fischer is not able to do anything here.
That totally makes sense if you compare that. So Lucas Fischer will have to try and catch up in some other places. Joe Senna is looking to go for an overtake right here. Is not side by side enough to sneak it onto the inside, but he's trying to still unsettle Sebastiano Rossi mentally, so he maybe makes a mistake. Or there's still 26.5 minutes left in the race for that to potentially happen. I wouldn't bet on it though. Sebastiano Rossi has been quite the consistent driver. However, consistency doesn't help you when you have slipstream and an immensely long straight.
Yeah, that smoke screen gonna have to be deployed at the front, but trying to go for a move on the outside here. Sebastiano Rossi hitting that curb, but still managing to keep that crucial TCR lead into the final corner. Looks like bumper to bumper right now. So Joe Senna might have a chance into turn 1. Let's see what happens. We have seen this scene multiple times, but will it be different this time?
It seems like a big problem for Joe Senna is he doesn't get the run out of the last corner. So he doesn't get close enough by the end of the start-finish straight to go for a move.
Seems like that's the problem with the smoke screening Pojo. As he goes again a little bit wide here, that might invite Sven Mackenberg into this. We see on the rear wing wheel of Sebastiano Rossi, just hitting that apex, taking that corner properly. No frills, but Senna is still behind. That sentence would have been really scary if it was 9 years F1. As Senna looks to try and fake out on the inside of this corner, but no, that wouldn't work. Not on Sebastiano Rossi, at least. Let's head on this little straight now into... Senna having a little moment there. Is it a fake out this time, or will he try and make the move? He tried it. That was not a fake out this time. He tried it, but there wasn't enough overlap, so he didn't make the move stick. Senna, you're going to have to deploy that smoke screen on the front now if you want to distract Sebastiano Rossi, because right now Sebastiano Rossi is not moving anywhere mentally.
But how many more things can Joe Senna at this moment try? He's always catching up on the long straight here. Oh, this might be one! This might be the situation!
Sven Mackenberg taking the lead as Senna locks up as well. What a turn of events!
How the tables have turned. Indeed, Sven Mackenberg is now in the lead. The switcheroo. I mean, that was very aggressive here. Both Joe Senna and Sebastiano Rossi were trying to outbrake one another. And a huge lockup for Sebastiano Rossi leaves him a few seconds behind this lead battle for TCR now between Sven Mackenberg, who snuck in through both of them, ahead of Joe Senna. But they're side by side already.
They're side by side, but Sven has the inside here. He might get the better run. Not really though, as Senna trying to get that overlap into this little section here. Could he maybe get side by side into this corner. He can, looking at the shadows, but doesn't seem like it's enough for an overtake. We are on board here with the Peugeot. Just maybe there's some dirty air in here as Senna is visibly understeering right now. But still keeping up with that Volkswagen, though. That Volkswagen is now going to have to deal with being the leader of the TCR class.
Absolutely, and I think I can see that Sebastiano Rossi is losing time actually to this battle right now. Maybe out of his rhythm after that one error that happened there. Has to get back into the rhythm in order to catch back up to this battle up ahead. But now he gets a taste of the smokescreen medicine.
Does RaceRoom have flat spots?
I'm not sure.
Well, if they do, then that must have... Oh, as the Peugeot utilizing its overspeed on the poor Volkswagen right now.
And this might be strategic.
Like a...
This might be strategic between the two. Sven Maggenberg lets Joe Senna overtake without any problem here. So maybe they can slipstream one another, help one another to get away from Sebastiano Rossi.
Are they on the same team?
No. But they're both battling for the championship against Sebastiano Rossi, who is currently in the lead.
Makes sense.
That would be a big brain movement, as we see Sven okay, maybe that's not the case, as Sven Maggenberg tries to sneak on the inside here into turn one. Not quite side by side enough for that, but probably losing a bit of time for Joe Senna.
Yeah, the taste of that smoke screen now. Now that Senna's in the lead, he can use that smoke screen to full effect. But that probably doesn't help. It's probably like... Ooh, as Lucas Fischer tries to make the move here, but gets switched back on by Kratochvil into the penultimate corner here. GT3 battling here. I haven't seen that in a while, but we are back here. This battle is still raging on. 40 minutes into the race, it has not stopped.
These two drivers are just so on pace with one another. Kratochvil goes wide. That's a mistake on the braking, leading to Lucas Fischer going side by side and getting the edge here into the second corner.
Banging.
A little bit of banging between the two cars here, but Lucas Fischer comes out on top ahead of Yuji Kratochvil and is now in the lead of the race. This is for 25 versus 20 points in the championship standings. A very important difference between the two, as Lucas Fischer is now in the position to have to defend from the Czech driver.
That surely has invited Ziska back now, as he looks to be only 1 second behind him. Yes?
You're just a second behind this battle up ahead, but not close enough to get into the slipstream at the moment. We'll have to see. This just a couple more corners until we get onto the long straight once again. Will Ziska be in the slipstream there and to be able to take advantage of that? It doesn't look very good. Yuji Kratochvil, however, able to take a very wide line. Let's see whether he can catch up to Fischer on the straight. Ziska also relatively close now on exit, maybe getting a bit of the dirty air. However, Kratochvil seems to be not close enough. Goes for a fake to the outside now, trying to cut back on the exit of the corner. Will it be enough? No, it will not. Lucas Fischer stays in front, but Ziska is now very close to this battle.
Ziska definitely in there now again after a couple of laps of a little incident happening. Maybe. Yeah, but exciting battle for the top three now in the GT3 class. As we see Lucas Fischer just taking turn one not opening any doors for the Czech driver there. But still really close together. It's not over till it's over. I didn't hear no bell. That kind of stuff, you know?
Yeah, no bell will be ringing here in the end either, but we also haven't seen any checkered flag as this is very close here. It seems like Kratoch will outbraking themselves a little, not accounting for the overspeed due to the slipstream.
That definitely keeps Ziska in the game here. It's still on.
All of these little mistakes that happen to Fischer and Kratoch will be motivational factors for Ziska to be able to catch up and fight for a better position than P3. He has already made up 4 positions since the start of the race, which is a wonderful start, and Ziska now is even looking at a potential race win if he can keep up with this battle and even go for a move as they fight one another as they do. And I thoroughly planted the slipstream
right now, though. Kratochville, what's he gonna do? He fakes it, doesn't go for it though. Knows it's not close enough. Fischer goes a little bit wide. It might invite the Czech driver into a move into turn 1 or maybe the final corner, as there is the Link & Co. just chilling there. I think he just wants to finish, you know, just vibing right now.
To finish first you have to finish. And that is what Katarinakis is going for right now. However, staying on the outside, staying away from this battle there. Nice on the blue flag, but it seems like the GT3s are all the closer now thanks to this situation.
In multiclass, you know, it's you have to factor in the other class sometimes. Sometimes they are variables and they will mix up the racing, which is what makes multiclass racing so great. Oh, Ziska here, though, again, real close. I think Kratochvil made a mistake.
Yeah, it looked like that. Both
that
of them
Ferrari,
lost to Fischer.
Yeah, that Ferrari of Kratochvil normally didn't look good in the intersection. And maybe it's showing more and more of that as the tires wear out with just 15 minutes remaining of the race.
And of course, there's no mandatory pit stop today. So these people can pit if they want, but so far we haven't needed it ever. So these tires will get worn by the end of the race. They will not be undrivable, but it will definitely make things a bit harder for all of these drivers involved. Now, Kratoch will a bit too far back, I think, to benefit from the slipstream effectively. Still catches up very slightly to Lucas Fischer, but way less than in previous laps. Ziska, on the other hand, is also looking at this and is usually very good on the exit of this second to last corner. So let's take a look what he can do as we come on to the start finish straight once again. Looks like they're pretty single file at the moment still, as we have another battle right now developing with Rüdiger Lampe catching up to Timo Reiter. Just half a second between the two cars right now, as they are following a few tens of seconds behind this lead battle for GT3s.
You know, if there was a Reiter in RaceRoom, it would be base for Reiter to drive a Reiter, but we gotta return to battling though. Seems like the battle for P5 is going on here. The fight to not be second to last in the GT3s. Or second to last finishers anyway, because Jordan unfortunately DNF.
Still, everything here is for points because top 15 finishers get points, and that is per class. So currently everyone is scheduled to get points as long as they finish 75% of the lead laps in their class. It looks like we have a bit of a calm before the storm now. The final 13 minutes are now starting. So as we get into this last stage of the race, will Kratochwil or Sitska mount another attack? Will Lampe mount another attack? Will Mackenberg also mount another attack, as he is currently following Joe Senna, with Sebastiano Rossi still being a bit behind those two? I think it's just the slipstream not being there for Sebastiano Rossi that really hurts him in this battle, because previously he was just able to either stay in front of a battle or stay in the slipstream of other drivers. But that is not the case right now, as we see Lucas Fischer and Yuji Kratochwil are battling side by side on the end of the straight, the long straights, and Lucas Fischer is currently in front, but Kratochwil is side by side as we come into the last corner. Side by side as Kratochwil gets turned around.
Kratochwil spins. This is big.
Lucas Fischer also goes wide, and this means Dave Sitska has now been promoted into the lead of the race. Dave Sitska, from nowhere, starting from, I think, P7 on the grid, is now in the lead. Just 11.5 minutes to go until the end of the race, and now 2.5 seconds to 2 seconds ahead of Lucas Fischer. This is the moment of a lifetime for Dave Sitska, looking to potentially win this race after a huge collision, huge coming together between Lucas Fischer and Yuji Kratochwil, which also has promoted Mike Kirch onto the podium.
Oh, Julian, you reverse curse Sitska. He is now in the lead after starting, I don't know, P7?
Thereabouts, yeah. I mean, wonderful race progression from Dave Sitska so far.
You know, one of our former drivers here, Towers the 14, he always said this: position through attrition. That is what has happened today to Sitska.
I mean, we have seen it. We have seen that there has been incidents between Fischer and Kratochwil earlier. This was the second time they came together now, and Dave Sitska was always just looming behind, just looking at it and waiting. In the meantime, however, I think we have missed it. Sven... Is Sven Mackenberg still in the lead or again in the lead now? I think he's again in the lead.
Again in the lead. Yeah, again in the lead. Because Senna was ahead before, wasn't he?
Yes, yeah, so at the same time, while we had that GT3 kerfuffle, there was also a switcheroo in the TCRs for the lead once again, and Rüdiger Lampe is also edging ever closer to Timo Reiter, now in the slipstream on the long straight. Not close enough to go for a move at the end of the straight, however this will catapult him very close to the BMW driver, the two Germans.
BMW locks up though.
Oh yeah! Didn't
but
cost
the Mercedes
too much.
also doesn't get a run, so yeah, doesn't cost the Mercedes. I mean, doesn't cost the BMW too much there.
Does seem like it's Rüdiger Lampe now has to do it all over again, a bit further behind than he was at the start of the long back straight. As we see, Dave Sitska is now coming up to this lead battle in the TCRs, is now ahead of Joe Senna, and let's see who gets out on top here. Sven Mackenberg staying on his line on the outside there. Joe Senna going for a better entry into this corner. However, it seems that in the end... Oh yeah, Joe Senna has caught up quite a little bit. But Lucas Fischer is also now right behind this battle, trying to go for a move, immediately going for it on this short straight here. And also going to the inside of Sven Mackenberg. This helps Joe Senna really catch up. Oh, as I think Mackenberg goes a bit wide there on the exit.
It might be side by side on the straight, that's for sure. And this TCR kerfuffling has also helped Lucas Fischer to be just 1 second behind Sitska approximately now. So exciting final moments happening here for the race as the Peugeot again just gets the overspeed on the Volkswagen, looking to make another DRS pass. into the penultimate sharp corner here. Let's see if there's anything going on. The Volkswagen takes the wide line, trying to preserve momentum. But no, Senna seems to have made it stick.
Senna has made it stick as Mike Koch is now lapping this battle. Sebastiano Rossi, we see him in the background there. Who knows whether he's close enough to catch up to this battle until the end of the race. He's currently 2 seconds behind Sven Markenberg, who is trying to get that position back for his, I believe, potential first victory this season. Joe Senna, of course, has had better results previously. Sven Markenberg, this is one of his best races so far in this entire season. He will want to make that victory work if he can.
Yeah, sure thing, as Ziska seems to have a little bit away from Fischer again, just gaining like a 10 or 2 per lap, but it's not happening here for Joe Senna though, as Sven Markenberg again is catching up, not phased by the smoke screen at all, as the GT3 of Kratochville is catching up to them though. Again, the multiclass variable comes in. It might separate the TCRs. Yep, it seems like it has made a little bit of a gap, that GT3. So, yeah, that battle might have to continue another time, as... yeah. Either Peugeot, though, just taking that corner, trying to get the best exit possible, as the Volkswagen tucks in the slipstream.
I think he's close enough to get some slipstream here. It will not be the most effective one. Actually, he's losing time right now, so it seems that he's not close enough to have any effective slipstream at the moment. This is not going to be good for him. At the same time, however, we have Rüdiger Lampe catching up to Timo Reiter. They are also on the long back straight once again here. Let's take a look if Lampe can take this corner better this time around. Reiter takes a wider exit, looking to be more beneficial at this second. Oh, catches the inside curb here.
If that was ACC, that BMW would have spun on the spot and died.
Potentially.
But it didn't happen here though. The battle continues on as we see the German machinery going around turn 1, battling for position number 5. Just going through the slow section here though, they might have caught up to the Peugeot over there, as evident by the smoke screen.
It seems that Sven Markenberg had an issue, is now a bit further behind Joe Senna than previously, and Sebastiano Rossi is also catching up to this battle. It seems that quite a lot is going on there, and right behind them we see that Timo Reiter and Rüdiger Lampe are catching up to this battle. So once again, 2 battles meeting each other on the track, the GT3s and the TCRs. Sebastiano Rossi leaving the space there for Rüdiger Lampe. However, the exit will be hugely hampered by being side by side with the TCR here. This is horrible for Timo Reiter and his chances to go for an overtake. However, Sven Markenberg is battling Joe Senna here, so there is the potential that Timo Reiter gets caught behind this, as we're now in the long right-hander. Maybe Timo Reiter gets caught up a bit here. It's on the outside now, and it looks like Rüdiger Lampe is rather close, getting the slipstream from the TCRs in order to catch up to his GT3 compatriot. However, it will not be close enough to go for anything right now. There's a yellow flag for Lucas Fischer.
Lucas Fischer, this is not the time to do donuts, my friend. Oh god, what has happened? And he has returned to garage and DNF. Oh my god.
And this promotes Mike Koch into P2 now. Jiří Kratochvil, who is 5 seconds behind Mike Koch, will have trouble catching that up in the last 3 minutes. Dave Sitska in a very commanding lead now, P1. Mike Köch now in P2 and Jiří Kratochwil in P3. We just have 1.5 more laps to go, I would reckon. Yeah, because, wow.
RaceRoom ends on the dot.
There's just so much going on at the moment.
Well, if my calculations are correct, Kratochwil will get 16 points for P3, which will put him 2 points behind the championship leader after this race, if he keeps P3.
That is 1 point, and also Lucas Fischer has finished 75% of the lead laps, so we'll get the points for P8. We'll get the points for P7 actually.
Yeah, P7.
Which will be, I think, 8 points.
Oh, that makes him tie. Yep, no. P7 is 9 points. P7 is 9 points, so he will just hit the championship leader by 1 point.
Oh,
maybe
wow.
he knows that. Maybe that DNF was strategic. Who knows?
I mean, now he's not going to get any ballast for next time around. Obviously, we saw that there was a huge crash there. That was probably not strategic about it, but in that case, he probably felt like it doesn't matter if I DNF now or if I finish in P4 in the long run.
Yeah.
Maybe there was also quite a lot of
Senna.
damage on the car. Very likely. But yeah, Joe Senna here still trying to keep the lead ahead of Sven Mackenberg.
Oh, Sven goes wide here, though. It's not really good for the Volkswagen. As Sebastiano's getting lapped in the background, that probably doesn't help him catching up either, but he will still finish in the podium.
He will still finish
less than 1 minute in the race.
Yeah, it certainly looks like that. We are now on the last lap of the race, it seems. Dave Sitska is in a commanding lead still by 7 seconds ahead of Mike Köch, who is on track now for his first podium of the season, and that in P2 as well. Sometimes it just pays to be in the correct position and the correct time.
But Kratochwil has a yellow flag, though. It looks like he has had another little incident. Oh, can it invite Reuter in the picture? Doesn't seem like so, but yeah, no celebratory donuts right now. No time for that. Finish the race.
Just finished the race, yeah. And Timo Reitzer would have liked to see something up ahead, because currently the only thing that he's seeing is something behind. Rüdiger Lampe is still looming there, and since it's the last lap now, he will surely try to go for a move. However, let's go on to Dave Sitska now, who is coming into the last 2 corners right now. Dave Sitska, second race this season, is looking to win it in a quite commanding lead on the start-finish straight now. What a beautiful and consistent race here by Dave Sitska, being at the right position and the right time, able to take advantage of other cars having issues. And in the second position we have Mike Köch, also in the same boat as Fischer and Kratochwil have been battling quite intensely, doing the celebratory donuts off the circuit as they should, as Jiří Kratochwil is finishing in P3. Timo Reitzer stayed ahead of Rüdiger Lampe and finishes in P4 ahead of Lampe. So finally, it looks like Sven Mackenberg had nothing for Joe Senna, who seems to finish quite handsomely in the lead now.
In the Peugeot too.
František Štofko finished in P6, and Joe Senna in the Peugeot, you said it, winning the GCR race.
Oh, goat. Po goat.
Po goats.
Africa in the podium as well. Might be a first for tracc, as the race is now officially declared over.
The race is over. Sven Mackenberg finishes in P2, Sebastiano Rossi in P3, Colin Barker in P4, and Vasilis Katerinakis still has one more corner left to go to finish in P5. Unfortunately, we have the 2 DNFs of Lucas Fischer and Jordan Brunch. However, today is the day for both Dave Sitzka and Mike Koch. Beautiful racing, consistent racing by the two. Absolutely wonderful to see.
You know what they say, consistency is key. You've just proven that today. Persistent through attrition as well. Beautiful, beautiful drive from Ziska, moving from second to last to just winning the race by nearly 8 seconds. And having the purple lap as well.
I mean,
Oh, God.
that means he just earned it. And just being the quickest on the track as well. Just a 10th ahead of Kratochville. And also just a 10th ahead of Lucas Fischer. But beautiful. Well done by Dave Sitzka. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Wow. So much going on this race. I don't know what to say except for thanks everyone for watching. This has been the 6th round of the KCG Racing League, the Chinese T-Prix. And we will also continue this next week as we go to the 7th round, the penultimate round of the championship. And we stay in East Asia as we go to Thailand, Southeast Asia actually, going to Chang International Circuit. We're going to the destination of speed. Beautiful.
We still stay in East Asia though for tomorrow, as VTrack goes to Suzuka as well, just next door. So
exactly,
yeah,
that is going to happen on ACC, on VTrack, on this channel as well. So be sure to tune in for both of those, or either of those, depending on what you're interested in. Also be sure to, if you can, support us on Patreon to help us fund our servers that we're running, and also to support us to provide better racing and better service than we currently are already doing. So yeah.
And fix the Peugeots.
Fix the Peugeots. Fix the Peugeots. RaceRoom, please fix. So, I have been Julian Strasser. With me has been Song KP. Thanks so much everyone for watching, and see you on the racetrack.